Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your very first time here. My name is Troy, and since July is now over, it's time for my monthly portfolio recap, so let's dive right in. All right, first chart we're going to take a look at, this is my invested capital versus my account balance. Simply put, the blue bar shows you how much money we have put into the portfolio. The orange bar shows you how much the portfolios are worth. So I always share three periods of time, three checkpoints. It's always the beginning of the year. It's always the previous month that closed, and then the most recent month that closed. In this case, it's January, June, and July. You guys can see in July, we are sitting at an invested capital amount of $282,747.46. And the amount that our accounts are worth is $493,762.55. You guys will notice if you look from June to July with the orange bars, that we lost money this month. The portfolios were down. I don't know what that is. 7,000, 6,000, 8,000, somewhere between 6 and 8,000, but definitely not 6 to 7,000. Definitely not that. Somewhere in there, we're down with that. Or we're down from that. Nonetheless, I'm not worried about it. We're not needing the money tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. It's a long-term game. Market went down. It is what it is. Only people that get hurt on the roller coaster are the ones that get off halfway through, they say. Nonetheless, let's go to the next tracker. This is the cash deployed tracker. For anybody that's not new here, my older people that are returning, you guys know I used to invest money every single day. That was a mental thing for me because I would invest money on a Monday and the market would spend the rest of the week going down in value. And I was like, man, I could have just invested on Friday and got a really good deal. Or vice versa. I would wait until Friday. The market was really cheap or cheaper on Monday, and then the market went up all week. And now I'm buying things very expensive. To combat that, I was just like, I'm just going to put money in every single day and I don't have to worry about that. To be honest, I don't have the time to do that anymore. I'm too busy, or I don't want to make the time, rather. Everybody's got time. I don't want to make the time to do that anymore. So I'm just investing the money as I get it, whether it's from my check, my wife's check, or our monthly money that we put in there at the beginning of the month. So you guys will see in July, there's a lot of red boxes. It's not a mistake. It's on purpose. I just wanted to be transparent. And since I was tracking at the beginning of the year, I wanted to track it till the end of the year. The red boxes, no money was invested. Anything that's green, money was invested. And the white boxes, the market was closed. So you guys will see different periods of time there. Down at the very end, you guys will notice the totals. We were able to invest $3,742.40 this month, which you love to see. That's about 900, give or take, dollars higher than the previous month, which we love. We didn't do anything crazy on that. I know the wife had an issue with one of her checks last month, and I wasn't investing in my 401k at my new job yet because I wasn't eligible to. But I'm now doing that at $60 every paycheck that I'm putting in. There's a match that the company does, I think 3.5%. I'm doing 6% or something like that. I don't remember what the numbers are. I'm basically investing to get the company match. But so I'm putting it, and I get paid weekly. So I add $60 every week, which comes out to $240 a month. Which doesn't equate to the 900 that's extra. I think last month was a little short because of the wife's check issue, and then this month is higher because I guess it was fixed. I don't know. I don't think we're going to invest $3,700 a month, but I don't think we're also going to invest $2,800 a month. We're actually going to touch on that here in a second. So down at the bottom in these green boxes, year-to-date cash deployed is just over $23,000. Our average monthly cash deployed sits at just under $3,300. Our daily cash deployed comes out to $28.13. Again, I'm not doing that daily now. It's just cool to see on average what it's looking like we're investing per day. And our projected cash deployed comes out to $39,489.55. Just because it's close, I want to see if we can get the 40K. I think we just beat 40K last year. Go back to like December's video of last year or something. I guess, yeah, one of those, and see if we did. I don't remember, to be honest. But I did math. Maybe this is simple math for everybody else. I mean, it was simple math to do. I just didn't know the number. You have to invest $3,333.33 per month to get to $40,000 for the year. As you can see, our average monthly cash deployed is pretty close to that. So again, I'm not on purpose changing anything we're doing. We're still investing the same amount into our Roths to max those out. Getting our match from both of our 401ks and investing money in our retire early and anyone can invest portfolio. I do think we are on the verge of getting closer to that 33 that we need for the 40K. I hope that'd be pretty cool. If we did it last year, to do it 2 years in a row. And if we didn't do it last year, to do it this year. I digress. Next up is those yellow boxes at the very bottom. Again, this is one thing I used to care a lot about to try to get to 100%. Less so now. We've invested in 117 days that the market's been open. The market's been open for 144 days, which means we've invested in 81% of the days the market has been open. Now we go on to the next thing. So this one is the July activity chart. And then we'll get to the next chart. I see two charts. On this one, so far left is that all the stocks, ETFs, funds, whatever you want to call them, all the holdings. On the left side, the sum of quantity is how many shares were purchased this month. Sum of amount is how much was spent to acquire those shares. Average price is the average price of those shares. Annual dividend is how much that company or holding pays per year in dividends. Then the added forward income is just taking the amount of shares I bought times the annual dividend and seeing how much money we added for that particular holding this month in passive projected annual dividend income. So down at the very bottom, we're not going to go obviously through all these. That's ridiculous. Down at the very bottom, you can see that we added 18 and a half shares this month just in buying. We spent that same $3,700 I just talked about. Average price, irrelevant. Don't worry about that. You can look at it if you want. It doesn't mean anything. And then the added forward income, we added $74.85 in projected annual dividend income for the next rolling 12 months is what that's saying on this. So actually that rolls perfect into this next chart that I can see that you guys will now see. Projected passive annual income. This is across all accounts. Again, we have that January, June, and July timelines that we had earlier to keep it consistent. January, we started the year with $6,851.76 in projected annual dividend income. Now for July, we're up to $7,364.05 per year. The orange bars are per month, which comes out to $613.67 per month. And the gray bars you can't see, but they're there. $20.18 per day is what we're sitting at now to conclude July. Again, that is not saying that's what I'm going to finish the year as. Like, that's not projecting what you're going to end 2026 at. That's saying for the next rolling 12 months, that's what you can expect, which is cool. That's really, really high. I actually touch on that here later in the video. How do I know that? I already recorded this video and I forgot to turn on my mic, or the recording program I used desynced my mic from the recording program. So I get to do this twice. So I already know I'm going to talk about that, not from a script, but just because I talked about it the first time, I'm going to talk about it again. So next up, this is the July passive income. So we have a decent amount of activity this month. It's nothing that's going to be discussed in this video because we've had 5 dividend payments in July. They were all in my Anyone Can Invest portfolio, which I have a separate series on. I started a dividend portfolio from scratch on the channel, $60 every other week, just because that didn't exist when I was looking for it. Like, everybody had portfolios with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, just like mine does. But nobody showed me what it was like to start. Like, what's the first dividend look like when you first get started? I want to see your pennies, not, their hundreds of dollars coming in. I wanted that connection with the people because I didn't have that. So I created that. Nonetheless, shameless plug. Go check that out if you want to. But yeah, we had 5 dividend payments all in that account. 5 interest payments. Those aren't real positions, so I don't count those. I count those with the money, but I don't count them as like I'm going over them because I'm not doing anything to get that. I didn't invest in those interest positions. They just sit there and give me money, which is a good thing. But so 10 total payments. Again, not going over the ACI, but I do have something cool to show you. This is kind of nerdy. So if you don't like nerdy stuff, I don't know, skip ahead 30 seconds or something. I don't know, but you might want to hear this. So one of the dividends in my portfolio, in my retire early account, Comfort Systems USA, FIX. I talked about it. I used to do a series called My Top 5. I just don't have time to do that anymore. I don't want to make time to do that, I guess. I talked about that stock a bunch of times on there. Probably 12 to 15 times. If I would have bought that, if I would have listened to myself and bought that when I first discovered that as a really good stock, I'd already be retired, I think. I don't know. But nonetheless, that stock I currently own, and I bought it probably a year-ish ago. It had a dividend raise on July 24th. Of 12.5%. It went from 80 cents per share per quarter to 90 cents per share per quarter. Here comes the haters. 10 cents per share per quarter. Who cares? All right, so here's what happens. Here's the math down here at the bottom. I was curious about this, and I think other people will find this interesting. At the time of recording, I own 24.254 shares of this company. Previous dividend was 80 cents per share per quarter. New dividend, 90 cents per share per quarter. The new payout is $21.80, let's call it 83 cents per share or per quarter, right? Total. The previous payout was going to be $19.40 for the same thing, just because of the raise. So I'm now getting $2.43 more for no reason, just because they wanted to raise their dividend. So that's cool, right? So in order to get that same $21.83 I'm now going to be getting, I would have needed to own 27.29 shares of Comfort Systems USA. Big whoop, right? Only an extra 3 shares, basically. Well, this one sits at a share price of $1,729.69 at the time of recording, which means to get the same exact amount of money I'm now going to get, I would have needed to spend $5,244.42 that I didn't have to spend. Like, Comfort System just raised their dividend, and now I get it for free. That's pretty cool. Again, super nerdy moment. Anybody that's not a nerd, welcome back. Now we're going to go over the total amount of money that was made in July across all accounts. Again, I treat how I'm investing now is the dividends are just a byproduct of my overall goal. My overall goal is to grow our net worth. The dividends are almost just like, hey, if you drink water, you might drink water because the doctor told you your sodium's too high or you need to get more water in or whatever. Well, it also helps with your sleep. It also helps with your stress management. It also helps your hair grow. It helps with so many other things. That's where I feel dividends are in my life right now. Dividends are just like, hey, I like Comfort Systems USA. It's a great company. And by the way, they pay a dividend. And by the way, they grow that dividend a lot really quickly. So all those things are extra. But nonetheless, July 2026, you guys can see far right. I think I put a little box on it for you guys so it's easier to find. We made $53.34, which was $83.08. 83.3. I want to get this out. Stay with me. 83.8% lower. Got it. Than July of 2025. To be honest, I didn't do this before I started recording, and I honestly just forgot, even though this is take 2. I don't know why it's so much lower than July of 2025. I know I changed a couple things in the portfolio. It's probably SCHD. That's actually now that what I'm thinking about. I bet you that's SCHD because I don't have SCHD anymore and I don't have Apple. I think those were my 2 changes last year. And both of them are doing good. You guys are welcome. But nonetheless, 83% down. Down here at the very bottom, we're just under $1,600 for the year. $133.02 per month, $4.37 per day, and we are 63.8% off of what we made in 2025 so far. That number for 2025 is all year. Obviously, all year of 2026 isn't done yet. I will say this. The wife's one position in her 401k pays out one time, and it's in December, and it makes $11 or something per share for the year. That thing could blow up in December in a good way, a good blow up. And it could all of a sudden we could be like, oh yeah, we're going to be $2,000 short for, what we made in 2025 versus what we made in 2026. And then we get a $4,000 dividend or something from that one. So that'll be really cool. I have no idea what it'll be. This is the first year that position's been available in her 401k, or we just didn't have it before, I should say. So yeah, really interested. Keep coming back. We'll check on that. I'm super excited to see what we make in December because that one pays out. So nonetheless, rounding up all those numbers that we just showed, this is the career dividend chart. All the portfolios that we have individually are on the left. The amount of money that they've paid out individually is in the next one. That then it gives you the percentage and how many drip shares we've had, how many times we've received things, it's bought more shares, so on and so forth. So down at the very bottom, you guys can see we made I did that twice. We made $16,499.33 in career dividends, which is 100% of the dividends, and received over 147.5 shares for free via the drip. Shares bought us more shares, and then we got more dividends, and those bought us more shares and stuff like that. So dividend snowball. Speaking of dividend snowball charts right here. Buy 1000s, buy 2500s. I'm not going to go into details on this. We don't have any updates this month to these because we didn't reach the new milestone needed for that. For anybody new here, feel free to pause this. This is basically just showing you how long it's taken me to hit the $1,000 mark and then the $2,000 mark and the $3,000 and so on and so forth. Each one of these numbers will not be lower than the previous every time guaranteed. The goal is those averages at the very bottom, the 204.8 and the 728.2. As long as the new milestone is reached quicker than that, we lower the average. And as long as the next milestone is reached quicker than that, we lower the average, and that's the goal. So next up is diversification. If you guys want to know what I own, how much I own, and what our percentages across the portfolio, here it is. The pivot table version and the picture version. Same thing. You guys can see S&P 500 is 39% of the portfolio, so on and so forth. I'm not going to bring up the other thing I did because I get to do it twice. So I'm not going to say what I said last time. But nonetheless, again, pivot table version if you want to see the nitty gritty, the breakdown of everything, and then the picture version if you like pictures. There's that. Next up is the benchmarking. This is how our portfolio is doing, each individual portfolio over the past periods of time versus the market over the same periods of time. So again, I'm going to call out here, anyone can invest portfolio outperformed every of the major indexes, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500 this month, which is pretty cool. HSA is down a lot. I do triple leverage funds in the HSA. I have like $6,000 that I put in there over the course of time when I had an HSA. I no longer can contribute because I don't have a qualifying health plan. I don't care if that money goes to zero. It's in triple leverage for the long haul. It could go to $1 billion. It could go to zero. It doesn't matter to me. So that's why I'm playing only with leverage in that account. I'm not doing a margin. I'm not borrowing anything. It's just UPRO and TQQ. TQQQ, three Qs. You guys can see year to date, it's doing really good. Year to date for all of our stuff, my retire early is outperforming all three. My HSA is outperforming all three, and the wife's Roth IRA is outperforming all three. My Roth is underperforming all three, which sucks. It does have UPRO in it, so there could be that. So that means next month it could be doing great. I don't know. Who knows? And then my Anyone Can Invest portfolio is hanging in there with all of them. It's slightly outperforming the NASDAQ, slightly underperforming the other two, but it's basically on par. So there's that information. Next up is my net worth. Again, I track this on my channel. I'm really upset that a lot of other finance people or YouTubers in the dividend space do not track this. Not because I'm better than them, not because I'm nosy. Also, a little bit of that second one. But I just think it's so cool. And I think it's awesome for people to be transparent with their net worth, because a lot of people will flaunt, especially now on social media. They'll flaunt, oh, I got this thing and look at this over here and all this shiny stuff, right? But they're so leveraged. They have so much risk in their life because of how leveraged they are. It's not actually, it doesn't mean anything. Show me your net worth. Show me actually that you're making progress. And also, shamelessly, I like to compare myself to others and myself to myself. And it's just a little friendly competition. You don't have to tell anybody, right? You could just be sneaky on your side. Like, oh, I got so-and-so beat, right? So here's these two charts. Put them on the screen real quick. Find your age on here. You'll find like your median and your average net worths and stuff like that. Just cool to look at, see where you're at. Here's my charts, right? So on this one, super quickly, net worth assets side, the blue side, I have $868,386.73. You guys can see the breakdown of what those come from. The liabilities is the orangish column for $85,663.25. You guys will see credit card debt in there. Again, I give this disclaimer because I am not a credit card debt advocate. I paid that off as soon as I was getting this video. So literally you can pretend a zero's in there and just take that 386 out of our checking account. Same thing. It doesn't matter. It's already paid off. Don't worry. We're good. All that to say, our current net worth sits at $782,723.48 as of August 1st. Over here on the far right, that's a really good number, obviously, right? I'm very annoyed. Annoyed might be too harsh of a word. I don't know. It bothers me a little bit. As of May 30th, I was at $789,700.03. I was like, oh, next month, aka in June, I might be able to hit $800,000 net worth. That's cool, right? It's just a little milestone. Well, then we proceeded to go down to $3,000. Then the next month this month we proceeded to go down another $4,000. So we are no closer. If anything, or actually literally, we're further from the $800,000 mark over the last 2 months than we were 2 months ago, which sucks. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Good news is I was just talking to one of my buddies and he was bringing it up and we were, I told him ahead of time, spoiler alert, but I was curious. I was like, I wonder what our average, like how many times we've been down, how many times we've been up, and what the averages are, right? So year to date, our net worth has been down 4 times, or 4 months. It's been down on an average of $8,074.51. On the months that it's been up, which is 3 months, it's been up by an average of $38,891.59. So we just need one of them good ones again at that average, and we'll hit the number. So fingers crossed. August, you can do it. Here's the same chart. This is net worth readings. It's kind of pointless now. It's still kind of small. You can't really see much. But as I keep tracking these numbers and give it more data points, it'll do stuff that looks more interesting than this. Shameless plug here. I'm sponsoring this part of the video by my own business that I started to open. It's officially open, but I'm not ready to take clients, I guess. It's called Finally Financial, free financial coaching and education, because I'm tired of people taking money from people that need their money to do better financially. And I'm also tired of the victim mentality that seems to be out there where everybody's like, oh, I'm broke and it's everybody else's fault. No, it's your fault, and we're going to take accountability and we're going to get better. So again, business name is finallyfinancial.org. If you guys want to check it out, you don't have to do any of this. The website's free. The coaching's free to an extent. It's not important for the video. Nonetheless, the whole point of bringing this up for the channel is there's a tool page on the channel that I made. There's a tool page on the website that I made that is important for this part of the video on the channel. I fixed that. If you go to the tools page, finallyfinancial.org, there's a simple monthly budget template. I tried to make it as simple as possible just for people to actually use it. You guys can download that for free on Excel or Google Sheets, whichever you fancy. And then the reason this is all being brought up is I just went over my net worth. I also made a net worth tracker very similar to mine. I actually uploaded that to AI and I was like, hey, can we make a better, fancier version of this for other people to use that I can put on the website? And there it is. So the net worth tracker, download for Excel or Google Sheets. Again, fancy, whichever you wish. Let me know what you guys think of those. There's comment boxes on the website that you guys can click on to like leave feedback. I think it's a little bit further down on the screenshot. So just scroll down there, leave feedback. Let me know what you want for version 2 or what needs to be fixed or if there's issues or whatever. I tried to do all that myself, but it took me a while to make them. So it is what it is. But nonetheless, I appreciate you guys for watching. That's my update for July. You guys can let me know down in the comments anything you want. Let me know your numbers down in the comments. Let me know what you think of my numbers down in the comments. Let me know what you think about the website. Let me know what your favorite candy bar is. I don't care. Just talk to me down in the comments. Also, I've noticed that there's a little spot at the very bottom of the video to like hype the video. I don't know what that does. Click it just to find out. I know it's free. See if we can get my video super hype, whatever that means. But yeah, I'm out of things to say. I'm just rambling. But until next time, see you.